Race drivers, welcome to another Race Driver Coach Show, another Monday, talking about a topic that I would say is vital. If you're serious about being a top driver, a top performer in anything, this topic we're talking about today is golden. It's a must if you want to succeed. And it's the ability to reset, to not drag what happened yesterday into today if it's negatively impacting you mentally. Not worrying about what you did in the last session. Say you crashed, right? Race drivers, this is talking to you. You had a crash in practice. You've got qualifying next. Does it affect you or not? Or does it just make you hone your focus in even more and make sure that you deliver this time? I'm afraid what I'm finding is that most drivers are not doing what I just said, not the latter, they're doing the former. They have something go wrong. It could be last time out, weeks ago, before the race weekend they're in. Something go wrong and they carry that baggage through into now, and it affects their confidence. They're worried about so-and-so and people thinking certain things about them. Oh, what if it happens again? Just get this clear right now. If you want to be a thoroughbred race driver, you do realize the kind of mind that you have to possess in order for you to call yourself a race driver. It's the kind of mindset that is similar to the warrior, hence the warrior's mind that I wrote. It's similar to a fighter pilot's mindset, because you're out there traveling at breakneck speeds with other people on track traveling at breakneck speeds, wheel to wheel, where one mistake can cost tens, hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions if you're talking F1. And let's just be honest, you can hurt yourself, or worse. And when you're in that environment and you're competing, if you have got a tendency to let your confidence be knocked or your focus be knocked just because something happened before, you're no good to a manufacturer. Just think what somebody has to, when someone's paying you to race in their car, and it could be a manufacturer or a team, they can't have a driver who's affected easily. Yes, you may suck. Yes, you may have been off the pace last time, but it's the ability to reset and go again. Because I know for a fact that if you had a race engine in the back of your car or the front, wherever your engine is, and it only worked from time to time, when it felt good. If it had a bad session before, you know it's not going to be very good this time. Would you put it in the car? No, you would not. You'd say, get that engine out. It's no good. It's inconsistent. It's the same for you. Someone who's employing you to race, they don't want you to be inconsistent. They want you to be the exact same at your best, that is, every single time you put that bum in that seat. And it's your job as a driver to ensure that you do that. And you know it's far-fetched to have that goal, to think I'm going to be the same every time. You know that, but at least it's the goal, and make sure that you've got strategies in place that ensure or allow you to do that more often. For example, seen it a few times, talking about Ollie Behrman here, Baku last year, FP3, crashed in FP3. Turn 1, straight away, in the Haas F1 car. It's your big moment, and you crash, and you got qualifying next. Did it affect him? No. It made him sharper. This is a dangerous driver when they're like this. And I mean, when I say dangerous, I mean competitive. Dangerous to the competitors. Because what he did the next time through, in qualifying, when it's really important, he didn't just brake safe. He didn't brake early just to make sure he gets through that turn 1 and doesn't do the same mistake again. In fact, he broke at nearly the same point because he knew the track was ready and it's better than it was before. He broke at nearly the same point, and I think, I might be wrong here, but I think he was nearly P1 overall in that corner. Definitely quicker than teammate, and he just crashed there. And he did it again this weekend, and in China a little bit. Qualify didn't go to plan, so he started last, worked his way up to 10th. If he was worried about what it looks like and all this, he would have made mistakes, hesitated, but he didn't. He drove the race of his life. And I'm not just bigging him up. I'm just saying that that's the standard you've got to get to if you want to really be at the top. If you want to make a career, a successful career as a race driver, you need this ability. So number one is knowing that you need this ability, right? Number two is getting the motivation to actually make sure that you do this. And if the motivation or just thinking that you might not make it, you won't make it if you have this trait, if that's not motivating enough, I really want you to rub your face in this. I really want you to see that if you can't do this, you've got no chance of making it as a professional driver. A professional driver is someone who sits in a car and extracts the most out of that car nearly every time they're in it. They've got to be pretty robotic. They understand what the car wants and they supply the car with what the car wants to go through a corner. A top driver is not the person who pushes for a lap time, who is obsessed by results and like thinking, I must win, I've got to win, if I don't, I'm not good enough, and the ego's there. That's not a professional. That's someone who just wants to succeed. That's no good. You want a professional in that car that can, again, take the attributes and the weaknesses of that car around the corner and make sure they're just on the limit and give that vehicle what it wants. That's all you need to do as a driver. That's all your focus. Engineer is the one who sets it up. The designer is the one who designs it. The driver is the one who drives it correctly. The less emotion you have towards creating a lap time and driving correctly and being at your best as a human being is paramount. It's where all your focus must be. So next time out, I want you to be less emotional. This is where it's getting to really now. Less emotional and more dealing in hard facts. If that corner, turn one, needs to be taken flat, take it flat. Because the car can do it and the conditions can do it, I must do it. No, it doesn't matter how I feel about it. It doesn't matter how close the barrier is on the outside. That's irrelevant. A race driver, again, will drive the car to the maximum on that particular corner with the setup and everything that's in it. It doesn't matter if there's a cliff the other side. A race driver doesn't care about that. We've got to take you away, or not you, but it might be a part of you. We've got to take drivers away from the civilian mind and make sure that they have a brain that is the race driver mind. And it's not this person who's fearless, because they've got plenty of fears. They're just normal people, but they're focused on the right things and they've got the skills in the right areas. That's all you need. If turn one actually needs a light lift, just a gentle lift without unbalancing the car too much, you bloody do it. You don't try and go and really later lift hard and cause all this drama in the car and instability. Be cold about your driving. And when I say that, I mean make sure you're focusing on the inputs that you're giving the car, because you are way more responsible for the setup of the car than the engineer is. I do these things on the sim. I do these things in real life, like with race teams. I say, right, give them a setup in the car that's diabolical. You know, it's terrible. The diff is the wrong setting. The wings are wrong. We've got toe in or toe out. So it feels horrendous to drive. And you'd be surprised how the driver's still within a second of when it's a really good setup. So if that's all they've got, and some cars are even narrower, honestly, it's like 6/10 from a bad setup to a good one. If the engineer gets it completely wrong with tyre pressures or whatever, it's probably like 6/10, depending on the car and how long the track is and everything. But on average, it's around that. However, a driver, a top driver compared to a driver that's struggling at the back, it's like 2.5 seconds, which makes you think there's more time in the driving than there is in the actual setup of the car. And to be honest, even if that's not true, it's healthy, because you're a driver and you really want to make sure you're doing your bit right. It's healthy to believe that. To think there's more time in me getting things correct. And not only correct once, I need to make sure I get these corners right so often that I can't get it wrong. It's not getting it right once. You hear me say this a lot. Oh, it's really good, Enzo. I did session 1, I did first sector really good. Session 2, I did the second sector really good. If I piece them together, I'll be okay. That's no good. That's not mastery. I want you to take that corner until you do it in your sleep. See, your eyes are closed and you can drive that thing. I want you to do that corner 30 times correct before we go to qualifying. Bit impossible if you're in F3 and you only get one lap in free practice. But still, this is how you've got to approach it. You've got to be more robotic as a driver, less emotional, less thinking about the delta, the lap time, and then trying to chase it and push into every corner. That's not going to help, but you're going to be too stressed. And can you imagine, when you're stressed, you're not accessing the flow state. You're not accessing the parts of the brain that can actually drive the car easily and feel what it's doing. Instead, you're too conscious, too clogged up. It's too stressful, using way too much energy, which creates emotions when you're stressed in your body. My roundabout way of saying, make sure you focus on the right things when you're in the car. I don't care if you've had something happen before. It's irrelevant. What you do now is really important. This goes for you in racing, on a qualifying lap, in a race, being consistent, as much as it goes for the person who works in an office, and they've also got to be in the now, making sure that this customer they pick up the phone to next time to sell to, they're just engrossed in this person, not thinking, oh, I just had a no from this other one that I phoned up earlier and it's knocked my confidence. Confidence has got nothing to do with it. Deal in facts. What needs to be done and what needs to be done now and next. That's where the mind is. And if you have that kind of mindset or you have that approach, it's amazing how you can let things go. Yeah, I had an air ball. I missed the 3-point shot, which would have won the game. Yes, I was in qualifying and I messed up. So now I've got to race forward. Boo-hoo. Take the lesson from it. Understand why it happened. Interesting. Won't do that again. Apply the correction to next time you're out, and away you go. That's all it needs. Easier said than done when people are reminding you that you messed up last time. Easier said than done when you're thinking about all these people and what they're thinking about you. But there's only one person that can actually force you to think this way about what needs to be done now and next, that is. And it's you. You're the one that can take control of this. And just realize that every single second that passes on the track is another chance to turn it around and to refocus and go again. Even if there's 3 wheels on the damn thing, try and get it back to the pit lane. You've got to recenter and go. I know it's not easy, but why not start to work on this stuff? Why not be this bulletproof person who keeps bringing their focus back to what needs to be done instead of how I feel about it? Do this. Who knows how far you can go. And that's the kind of driver I know you can be. And it's the kind of drivers we need in this sport. Focus on this.